Hey everyone, this is Dave, the Tarot Counselor, and today we're going to be doing a tarot reading for Kaitlyn from Arizona. If you guys are interested in booking a reading, look at the link below, as well as I do private readings, obviously, but I also do occasionally free readings for people who agree to let me share the videos on YouTube so that others can kind of see what a tarot reading looks like and get a little more comfortable with the idea. I think I believe in tarot and I believe in the benefits it can have in your life, but I know some people are intimidated by it at first or just may be uncertain of what the readings may look like. So I'd like to do occasionally some free readings to share them so that people can get an idea of what the readings are like, get comfortable with it, and then feel more confident as they reach out to book readings for themselves. So today we're doing a reading for Kaitlyn from Arizona, and she'd asked that her love life has been slow recently, and just wondering if that will change soon. So with the intention of dealing the cards of what do we need to know about Kaitlyn and her love life, we're going to go through the cards and see what we have. So let me just get a quick little stand here so we can see them. So the first card that we drew for Kaitlyn is the, let me just adjust this. This is the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles does acknowledge, this is I'm doing a Celtic cross spread. I won't be able to put them all out there so it doesn't fit, but in the Celtic cross spread, the first card is the current situation right now, and the Five of Pentacles is a short-term, says yes, acknowledge you had a setback, short-term loss in either money, health. More recently, I've seen the Pentacles in the last year really being like mental health. So yes, you've been kind of down in the dumps about this. You feel it's been a setback. We'll talk about this later in the reading, but you can see five in numerology is a number associated with change and movement. So would be you would have to change either your physical surroundings or change the way you're thinking or approaching a situation to break through this barrier. On the numerology journey from 1 to 9, 5 is like the first time you get challenged in an obstacle, and it's really gonna harden you or really make you change the way you see things to kind of toughen you up, so that way you can experience the higher levels of your journey. So in this situation, this does certainly acknowledges that yes, you had a recent short-term setback. I don't know whether that's with what I'm seeing in some of these cards, which I'll talk about in a minute, is like not just being bummed that you might currently be single, your love life isn't going on, but I would wonder and ask you about, have you feel like you've had some near misses, as in maybe there was someone interested, or maybe you were talking to somebody, but it turned out into anything, and that's kind of almost, it's kind of bumming you out even more when you think there might be some potential or some inkling of things changing, and then seeing that it doesn't turn into a relationship that can be worse than just radio silence long term. And the reason for that is the next card that's acting on this situation. So this is the Two of Wands, which could be a challenge or a barrier or an obstacle to your current situation. So what this one suggests is, and the way I'm seeing it in this reading is, potentially someone else had a choice to make. So whether you were aware of it or not, or they'll see there's some other cards that suggest this, you may have been talking to somebody fairly recently, and then whether you knew it or not, they were kind of also talking to someone else, and they had to decide whether they would want to continue and potentially have a relationship with you or with someone else. And this card suggests that maybe this is the near miss I'm talking about. Perhaps they made a different decision, so you kind of had the thought that maybe there was someone coming, or something would turn into something, and it didn't. So now that obviously makes you feel even worse, because you thought you were going to potentially enter into a relationship, but it just kind of fizzled out or disappeared, or nothing ever came of it. The next card we have, so this is the outward expression of the situation. So this is how other people should see you. This should be fairly obvious to those around you or those who know you well. And so this is the Fool. So this kind of does symbolize, yes, someone who is really starting fresh, outwardly appearing like they are, fully ready for a new adventure, a new relationship, whatever it may be. And then based on whatever your past relationships or experiences may be, you've kind of healed from that, so you're not carrying any baggage with you. So you are truly just open and receptive to what the journey may be or what may come to you. So this would be a very positive card, suggesting that yes, you are in a positive situation and being open to a relationship at this time. But we'll kind of look at the next card after this. So this would be, but this is your outward expression. So this is how, and what I love about tarot is this kind of duality and contrast you'll see between the cards and the positions that kind of talk about some of the struggles that may be occurring or the tensions you may be facing. So outwardly, things may seem like, yes, you are open for all of this, but inwardly, or in your subconscious, this is the moon, and this is the second major arcana card. In this tarot reading, you actually have 5, which suggests your spirit guides or guardian angels, whatever you choose to believe, are actively involved in the situation or bringing you some advice or guidance to kind of keep you on your path. So what this suggests is the moon, normally in a lot of relationship readings, the way now I'm not saying this is the case for this one, when you see the moon, it suggests, the moon is a really challenging card in tarot readings because it suggests you as the person asking the question cannot see what's going on behind the scenes. So the moon obviously deals with things that are hidden. In this case, you can see the 2 towers here and the kind of separation. So we're separated from each other, separated from the sky and the land. So this deals with subconsciously you're feeling very alone or separated, and you're not sure why that is. And in most cases, when you see the moon, especially in relationship readings, it would suggest that potentially someone that you're not aware of is undermining you, gossiping about you, or speaking badly about you behind your back. So it's something that you're not currently aware of. I actually don't read that this way in your reading based on the other cards and their connections. This one I would suggest is, since it's in the position of your own subconscious, so what's going on behind the scenes for you, and it is, again, the moon as well, and it's paired or contrasting with the Fool, I would think this suggests is that outwardly, the appearances that you're giving is, yes, I'm open for new relationship, I'm free of baggage, kind of all that kind of stuff. Inwardly, it seems like there is something going on or holding you back or making you feel separated from your actual goal of being in a relationship. As I may not know, as I tell people, as I read tarot cards, I just read tarot cards straight as is. I'm not psychic, I have no psychic powers. But I would ask you in this reading, so I'll give you an example to give you the kind of energy that this would represent, whether this or not is true for your situation. Let's say that you happen to have parents who were divorced, and you think that has had no influence on you, or how you want to approach having a relationship. Like, if that were to be true, what this card would suggest is that subconsciously that is having an effect on you, and you may bring in some personal self-doubt internally as to whether or not the pain associated with relationships, or the not feeling optimistic that they're going to work out long term, or just kind of that subconscious pain that you maybe aren't dealing with or not allowing to come to the surface is kind of interacting or causing some issues here. So in total, since that is the moon really deals with something you can't see or acknowledge right now because it's with your subconscious, the best advice I always give people when I see the moon is to really pay attention to your dreams. Even do some dream journaling as you wake up in the morning. Write down as much as you remember about your dreams, because that may help you trigger it and unlock into the subconscious to give you the kind of perspective that you don't necessarily may have right now. But being paired with the Fool, I think this would suggest is outwardly, these both major arcana cards, outwardly things seem very positive and open for it, but inwardly or underneath the situation, there is something holding you back. Even though you may actively really feel like deep in your soul you want to be in a relationship, there's something of a little block or barrier or nervousness or self-doubt that's causing you or your subconscious to have some issues with that situation. So the next 2 cards I'm going to show you, again in their duality, is the recent energy that's coming to you within the past several months or weeks, whatever the case may be, before you enter this situation of really feeling down or reaching out to look for this. And this is the Knight of Pentacles. So again, seeing that Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, represented your current situation of kind of feeling down about the situation. The Knight of Pentacles would suggest, again, I'm going back to what I'm calling your near miss, there was some messages coming to you. So in the order of pages to knights to kings to queen or queens to kings, this is an immature thing. So this would be a message coming in. Maybe you started talking to somebody that you thought was going to turn into something, and it just never did. So whether it was someone that knew that kind of popped in, or was in your orbit for a little bit of time where you thought that might go somewhere, there was some communication or some messages, some reaching out from somebody, and it just didn't end up panning out into being anything before you got to this. So that's kind of why I also think that there was, somebody who maybe had to make a choice or something like that that caused you to really, feel worse about the situation than just being like radio silence, nothing going on, as there was not some dating, but an inkling or messaging, or someone you thought something might go somewhere, and that was a disappointment to you. The good news is, or as the energy for the next few weeks or months ahead of you, the energy that's going to be coming to you shortly. So this is the sun, which is also good, kind of contrasting from the moon, where the moon is everything hidden in the subconscious. The sun is everything fully open and exposed. So I think what this would be is kind of channeling your energy. If you are truly open to this and you can kind of overcome whatever's going on in your subconscious with the moon, then you should just release it to the world. Obviously, everyone knows about karma, but like it is so nuanced and part of everything. So that truly, I would suggest this situation would be is you should embody an energy. If this is what you want and you really want a relationship in your life, you should just be very open to people with it and kind of put that energy out into the world, and then that will come back to you. Whether it's you communicate to your friends that, hey, I'm definitely going back to your Fool card here. I'm open to start dating or being in relationships, or at least talking to other people to see where things may go. So if anyone knows anyone who they think would be a great fit for me, or a great match for myself, or know of anyone that's interested in me, please let me know. And even if what comes to you doesn't come through that path, just the fact that you are open and giving of that energy to the universe, that is what's going to come back to you and kind of bring back that positivity that you let out. So I think that's the advice that this card is giving you, is just be very open with everything. Like, don't have it be hidden, or kind of be like, I'm sad by myself that I'm not really with someone right now. Make it be very active or open that, hey everyone, I'm interested in being in a relationship. This is something that I'm putting out to the universe because I'm seeking, because I would like to invite this into my life. So that kind of finishes off the first half of the reading, which is in the Celtic cross side, kind of the circular feminine energy dealing with the current situation and kind of the tensions of your external world versus your subconscious, recent energy to future energy. Now we're kind of go through the masculine staff side of this energy, and to go through the resolution of the situation. So this next card represents you right now. So the card that represents you right now is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant kind of deals with, I actually read them a little bit differently than other people do. It kind of deals with dogma or associations. I really think of it as like peer pressure, or in terms of astrology, I view them as like Saturn, something that's not restricting, but anytime you associate with any group of individuals, whether that's your friends, the town you live in, social media things that you do, all those kind of create a culture around them of unwritten rules that you kind of always adopt. And so that's kind of what this card is saying, is one of the potential blocks for you having a relationship currently may be your own personal beliefs or unwritten rules, or saying I would only date these types of people. That the traditional one I give for these people who don't understand this kind of that aren't familiar with the Hierophant would be like, obviously, if you were in a group of friends and they were the cheerleaders, right? But you had a crush on someone who was on the math team. Like, there would be a certain amount of peer pressure from your friends who are cheerleaders to say, well, do you know that cheerleaders may not date people on the math team? It's more likely that traditionally, the traditions, the common rules, the unwritten rules suggest that we should date other athletes. All the stereotypical things. This would be suggesting, like, how do you break past those stereotypes or those unwritten rules, or those things that are kind of limiting your scope of your search. Whether that's, oh, I would, maybe not do online dating, or, wouldn't date someone, very differently from you, or someone your parents wouldn't, associate with. Obviously, as I do some readings for, lots of friends, maybe from other cultures, if you have very traditional parents with very traditional beliefs, they may not be open to you dating like, traditional Americans versus someone of your culture or something like that. So what the Hierophant really suggests is really get down and get in touch with what are the limiting beliefs that you may not be aware that you have, that may be limiting your options or narrowing what you see as possibilities for types of people in relationships, whether that's the circles of friends, or groups of friends, or just whatever the case may be. And again, the Hierophant has the number 5. 5 in numerology has changed. So this would be kind of take a look and write down all those beliefs. Just make a list of like, people you would date or you wouldn't date, and just try to look at like why would I put these people in these lists? Is there something below the surface that some kind of limiting belief for the people I'm saying that, or the list of types of people I wouldn't date that's really doesn't fit me, or I should challenge that assumption? Because obviously I always say you never know if you want to date someone until you actually go ahead and date them, because there's no other way to figure that out. That's kind of, I think, what this card is getting at for you. And you'll see in a second here some of the kind of push and pull. So that was your current situation. So the next card right now, which I think is a perfect complement for this one, is, you think of this as concentric circles. We're going to look at you, then we're going to look at kind of your environment. So that may include your friends, your actually physical environment, your town, your home, or whatever the case may be, and then we'll go outwards from there. And so this would be, what is the, besides the energy from you, what is the energy that your friends, your environment, your family might be bringing to you regarding this situation? And don't freak out if you've never had a tarot reading. This is not a negative card. This is the Devil. What this suggests is somehow the ego is at play here. So whether that's, again, if it's you having limiting beliefs, or your friends or who you associate with, this would be your ego is becoming in play and becoming a barrier for you. This would say, again, saying if all your friends on social media are dating people from the prom court or wherever it may be, or dating athletes, or dating 6 foot tall individuals, whatever that stereotypical thing is, it's saying, and if you are holding out and not seeing the potential relationships out there for you for that picture perfect situation, whatever it may be, right? So if you're, someone in a boy band, someone who's the quarterback of the football team, whatever the case may be, if you're holding out for something, really challenge that in yourself, not only from your own beliefs, but from your own ego. Are you holding out for that only because, the status of that, because you feel like it would give you status? I always say there's lots of great people out there, but there's not always great relationships. So even if you may get, I can date, prom king, queen, whatever the case may be that you're interested in, like, that doesn't guarantee that that's going to be a good relationship. That probably would look great to have some pictures on social media, or to text your friends and share that that's who you're dating. But that doesn't mean that that's going to be a great relationship for you, and actually maybe a very negative relationship for you. So this card is kind of your guardian angels, your spirit guides, whatever you choose to believe in, bringing you, I would say, a warning to say, keep your ego in check here, and don't just do things for status or popularity, or to, in this case, date the first person who may ask you out just because, I want to be in a relationship. Therefore, I reached out to my friends and they said, you should date so-and-so, and then you just blindly accept that. Like that's just because that checks the box. I didn't want to be single anymore. Now I'm not single. Mission accomplished, right? But that may not be the best thing for you. So it's not. So this is more warning of, don't do anything just to check the box, or to have some status, or to achieve the stereotypical thing that you see on social media. This is really take the time to do the inner work to try to figure out what is the best type of relationship or fit for you. And if you put that energy out to the world, that's what's going to come back to you. And they always say, if you want a certain type of relationship, become the type of person who's in that relationship. So if you want a very caring, very kind relationship. We'll get to that in a second with some of these other cards. Then you need to emanate that caring compassion out to the world, and that'll come to you. If you want to be super duper selective and nitpicky and only date 100% perfect people, well then guess what, everyone else is going to be nitpicky back on you, and then try to, if you're going to pick into other people's faults and say, I'm eliminating you for some superficial, stereotypical reason that has nothing to do with whether or not you'd be a good person for me to date, then that's obviously what's going to come from the situation. So make sure you check your own dogmas or beliefs or you have for yourself, and also be careful of the influence your friends or your environment or social media may be bringing you, because those may not be serving you and if you're on your journey to really find the right person. The next card is you get beyond that out in your ring. So this would be like as you get to the end of the road or the journey, which is, what's the outcome or solution to this? What you really needs to be is what subconsciously am I not aware of that could be a speed bump or have something to kind of come in my way, or hopes, dreams, or fears regarding the situation. So this is the Six of Pentacles. And if you remember that your current situation you're in was the Five of Pentacles, so on the journey through numerology, this would be the next step up. So this would say, again, I'm going to relate this back to karma, because you can see he's carrying a balance and stuff like that. So karma is in play in this situation. Generally, in most readings, the Six of Pentacles says, six in numerology deals with balance. So to achieve balance in your life, give of yourself to others, your skills, your talents, financial assistance, actually donate to charities, whatever the case may be. Since I also read Pentacles as mental health a lot more recently, I would just say, if you want to be in a relationship, you want to meet someone who's very kind and generous and caring, then you need to become that. And I would say not even to other people. So the people that are around you, friends, strangers, classmates, whatever the case may be, just be kind to people and be loving. I would even say, even just flirt, right? So if you're putting out the energy that you are interested, like the sun, and having a relationship, putting that out there, you even flirt. I'm not saying flirt with people that you even want to date, but if you just take the act of flirting with someone, or smiling at someone, or having eye contact with a stranger, or giving a stranger a compliment on the bus or on the street, wherever the case may be, even if that has nothing to do with the person who's going to step into your life, the fact that you're putting that positive energy and feeding people in that way, then that's going to come back to you and feed you the other, give what kind of the karma that comes to you to bring you that kind of relationship. So I would actively, if this is truly what you want, you need to become the person who is attracting someone in their life, and then not get hung up by dogma or status or anything like that, and actually really think about, really write down the characteristics of the person you would want to step into your life, and then think of it as if I want them to be super generous, I want them to buy me flowers, whatever the case may be. Like literally take one of those things every day or every week, wherever the case may be, and do it. If you say, I want a person who would buy me flowers, go buy flowers and give it to somebody. I don't care if it's your grandma or a total stranger or a little kid you see at the park, but putting that energy out into the world will bring the karma to you for that. If you say, I want someone who's super generous or who speaks kindness into my heart, then you need to do that for other people, even if you're pouring that positivity not into the person that you're actually going to be in a relationship with, because you may not know where it's coming from. The fact that you are giving, creating balance in the universe by giving of your positive energy on whatever vectors or layers it may be for you, that's what's going to come back to you and bring that back to you. So I can't stress that enough, that's a kind of very important message. So then the final card of this reading, so this is the outcome of this situation. So this is the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is really, it just kind of looks like what it is, right? So this is like the classic Hollywood movie ending, right? So Cups deals with your emotions, deals with love, deals with relationships. fulfillment. So the 10 of Cups, 10 in numerology being the highest level. So this is like, the Hollywood ending. You've got obviously, two people together, and they've even got kids, so whatever challenges or struggles that you have to come to seek your goal, you're going to reap the rewards of it, and you're going to get the Hollywood ending, right? So in this case, if what you really want is to be in a relationship with someone who is wonderful and kind, then this is going to come to you. But I think everything I mentioned before, in tarot and in numerology, the step before this would be like the genie card, like ask and you shall receive. So I think to hit this level, like I was saying, you need to put it out into the universe exactly what you want. Like there is no reason for the universe to bring you something you did not ask for or put out into the universe on a vibrational, emotional level. So you can't sit there in a closet or being mean to people and say, oh, I want this fantastic relationship, and that's going to magically happen. Absolutely not. But if you say with intention every day, if you meditate or do yoga, whatever it is you may do, put those intentions out there, that you are, seeking someone. You can even, I've done this before, write it on a note and leave it in your mirror. Today they are thinking of me. Today they're dreaming of me. Today they are loving me. Even if you don't know who that eventually is going to be, just know that that person that you are hoping to draw into your life is out there. So if you want that Hollywood ending, then you need to put that energy out there, and then it'll come back to you. So I think that kind of wraps up the whole things. I really believe the biggest messages for you from this is as I mentioned, the karma. How I would say these 3 cards are the most important things to focus on, which is the karma. If you want a relationship, you need to be absolutely open and vulnerable and transparent to everybody so that everybody is on blast that this is what you want in your life. And then you need to embody or embrace the type of person or relationship you're hoping to attract, and that's what's going to lead you to your Hollywood ending. But on that journey, you're going to have to overcome the hero obstacles, as you always expect to have, of these 3 cards, which would be do you have some subconscious things that are kind of being a personal block towards relationships? Do you have some kind of dogma, rules, traditions that are holding you back from potentially the relationship that may be right for you? And are your friends or peers or social media kind of leading you down the wrong path to make you think you should value the type of person or the type of relationship that actually doesn't fit you right? And if you can overcome those, then you will have your victory, your journey, and then you will be like the fool, someone who is actually wide open, going for a journey, seeking adventure, and then finding it. So I truly wish you the best. I hope this has been very helpful for you. And as I said, tarot isn't really always about magically knowing or predicting, but can look at all the forces in the situation that are acting upon you right now and give you the guidance of how to work your way through it. And I think this is really that tension between a true positive path, mindfulness, envisioning or seeking out of the universe versus overcoming self-limiting beliefs, society, peer pressure, and potentially your own hang-ups or fears or self-doubts that you may not be fully conscious of right now. I hope that was super helpful for you, and if you've enjoyed it, please let your friends know about it, but definitely share this with your friends. Tell your friends that you are on a journey to meet the right person, and then hopefully that comes to you. Hope it was helpful. Thanks.